All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are reviewing for the Unit 1 test, and one of the things that you need to be able to do on this test is to be able to tell and write time to the nearest minute and to be able to use a number line to find elapsed time. All right, so let's see if I can pull up a clock here. Let's look at the clock. This is a real-time clock here. So remember what we learned about telling time, okay? There's an hour hand and there's a minute hand. The hour hand is that short hand or that little hand, and the minute hand is that long hand. Okay, so I have that little saying in class, okay? It says, look at the little hand first. So to find my hour, I'm going to look at the little hand. Now, sometimes it can be tricky. Remember, when you're little, sometimes you get tricked, right? So when I look at that little hand, sometimes I need to just follow that out. Is it all the way? That little hand is between the 5 and the 6. It's really close to the 6, but is it on the 6 yet? And we got to be careful because in order for it to be 6 something, it has to be all the way on the 6. Remember, when that little hand is anywhere between here and here, that's the 5 o'clock hour. It doesn't turn 6 o'clock till it gets right on the number 6. So it's still on the 5. Okay, and now big hand, what do we say in class? So we say look at the little hand first, big hand, count by 5s, right? So we can start here and we can count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, okay? But then look, it's in between numbers. Now we said when the little hand is between two numbers, when we're little, we don't have to worry about all the little dots in between. When we're little, we're just going to pick the little number. So that was between the little hand was between the 5 and the 6, while we're little kids, so we're going to pick the littler number. But the big hand, now we're big kids. We got to be able to read the dots in between. Now on most clocks, and on this one there's not, and I'm sorry about that, there's usually some dots in between, okay? And so we know that when we counted by 5s, we got to 50. Well, now we got to count the dots in between. So 51, 52. It's almost like 53, okay? So my time would be 5:50. It's actually 5:53, okay? Usually we have some better dots than that. Now remember, when we're counting by 5s, guys, you don't have to count all the way around the clock. We learned some benchmark times in class. We do those little exercises. O'clock, 15, 30, and 45. I know that right here is 45, so I could start there. 45, 50, and then 51, 52, 53, and now it's getting closer to that 54 mark. Okay? All right, let's look in another, let's see here. Whoops. Let's see if I can bring up a page of clocks, okay? All right, let's look at number 2 and number 4 here. All right, so what do? Look at the little hand first. That little hand is between the 2 and the 3. Now, when I'm little, I don't have to worry about the dots in between. I just have to say the number. When I'm little, I'm going to pick the littler number. So we're going to go with the 2. All right, big hand, count by 5s. Well, I know that down here is 30, so I'm just going to start there. So 30, 35, 40. So this clock says 2:40. All right, now looking at clock number 4. Look at the little hand first. That little hand is between the 3 and the 4. When I'm little, I'm going to pick the 3. And then big hand, count by 5s. So I know that down here is already 30, or I could count around if you need to. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, but I already know that's 30. Now, 35, and then look, oops, my orientation's off a little bit on my board, so I'm going to have a little bit of trouble pointing to those little dots. So right there on the 7 is my 35. Now I count by 1s, 36 and 37. So this time would be 3:37. So if that big hand is in between, you're a big kid now, you can count those little dots in between. So you count by 5s and then you count the little dots by 1s.